Okay, we've all seen it. That stubborn, ugly black line that creeps in around the bathtub. The one that, no matter how hard you scrub, just refuses to go away.
Yeah, that line. But have you ever stopped to actually wonder why it keeps coming back? It's like it has a mind of its own, right?
All right, let's get right into it. First up, the stubborn black line.
I bet this sounds familiar. You throw everything you've got at it, bleach, heavy-duty cleaners, you name it. And for a second, just one glorious moment, it's gone. But then, a few weeks later, it just creeps right back. And sometimes it looks even angrier than before. It is such a frustrating, endless loop. So what is actually going on here? Let's peel back the curtain a little bit and see what's really hiding underneath all that.
Okay, this is the big misconception. Most of us just think, oh, it's just some really stubborn dirt. But it's really not.
You know, this quote from a pro really nails it. They said, the black discoloration was the warning sign of something much bigger hiding underneath. So you got to think of that line less like a stain and more like an alarm bell. And that something bigger? Well, it's mold. That's the unwelcome guest who's moved into your bathroom, and it absolutely loves that warm, wet, dark little space behind your caulking. The perfect spot, because it's exactly where you can't see it or get to it. So you're probably asking, how does the moisture even get in there in the first place? Well, it's kind of like a perfect storm, really. For starters, caulking naturally shrinks. Then you get these tiny little cracks from all the hot and cold temperature changes. Throw in some soap scum for the mold to snack on and top it all off with bad ventilation that traps all that steam, and boom, you've just creating a 5-star resort for mold. Which brings us to the million-dollar question, right? If it's mold, why doesn't my cleaning work? Well, this is exactly why your usual scrubbing is honestly just doomed to fail. Let's break down what we think works versus what's really happening. So you grab the bleach, right? Problem is, it can't get to those hidden spores. And what's worse, it actually damages the silicone. Then there's just scrubbing it away. All you're doing is wiping off the part you can see. But the absolute worst thing you can do, just slap a new layer of caulk over it. That just traps all that moisture inside and basically builds a perfect little greenhouse for the mold to thrive in. Yeah, at the end of the day, cleaning the surface is purely cosmetic. It's kind of like trimming the top of a weed, but leaving the entire root system in the ground. You know what happens next, right? Those hidden spores are just sitting there safe and sound, just waiting for their chance to pop right back up. All right, so we've established it's ugly, it's annoying, but it actually gets a lot more serious than that. Let's talk about the real hidden dangers that this little black line is trying to warn you about. Let's talk numbers for a second, because this really puts it in perspective. A proper re-caulking job? Maybe it sets you back about $150. But ignoring it, the potential damage from that water getting in could easily run you into the thousands. It's a classic case of a small investment now, preventing a massive, massive headache later on. And what kind of expensive repairs are we talking about? This is way beyond just how it looks. That trapped moisture can lead to some serious stuff. Soggy, softened drywall, tiles that start coming loose, even structural rot in the floor right under your tub. And that's not even mentioning the air quality, with all those mold spores getting pumped into your home. Okay, enough doom and gloom. The good news is there is a real solution. So let's walk through the only way to fix this permanently. The right way to do this is all about elimination, not just a cover-up. Step 1, complete removal. Every last bit of that old, moldy silicone has got to go. Step 2, disinfection. You clean the area with antifungal stuff to kill any spores left behind. Now, step 3 is absolutely critical, drying. The surface has to be bone dry. Then, and only then, do you move to step 4, application, using a high-quality antifungal silicone to get a perfect seal. And finally, step 5, a quick inspection to make sure everything's airtight and bonded just right. Look, if you only remember one thing from this whole process, make it this. The #1 reason DIY jobs fail and the mold comes roaring back is because people seal over a damp surface. You have got to make sure it is completely dry. Stop the moisture first, then you seal. So once you've got it fixed, how do you keep it looking great? Honestly, it's just a few simple habits. Give the edges a quick wipe after you shower, let that bathroom fan run for 15, 20 minutes, stick to gentle cleaners, and, just give the seal a quick checkup once a year to make sure everything still looks good. So let's just wrap this all up with the one big takeaway. That stubborn black line isn't a cleaning problem, it's a moisture problem. And once you stop the moisture, you stop the mold. That's it. That's the mindset shift. Once you get that, you've solved the problem for good. So the next time you see that black line starting to creep back, I hope you'll see it for what it really is. It's not just an ugly stain, it's a warning sign. And it really just leaves you with one question to think about. Is a simple black line really worth risking the actual structure of your home?